What's poppin', everybody? Back with another video. In this video, we got Sp8Ghost speaking on the Math Hoffa Podcast Breakup. He's telling his side of the story and how it all went down, how everything fell apart between Math Hoffa, Sp8Ghost, Esso, Hynaken. Let's listen. We'll talk after the video.
I was giving him. He would pay me. He would. I'm not gonna.
How did that relationship, like, was it something in the middle of it, or did everything that happened?
It was just clear. It was just a clear business. We was doing the show. I was giving him. He would pay me. He would. I'm not gonna say it wasn't. It was short money because I knew he didn't have none. But a difference from the Queen's Flip situation is I was gonna take bread. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take bread on this one. He don't have much, so I'm not gonna hit him over the head. So he don't have much, so let's just build. And that's how it was. I built it with him.
So was it eventually a discrepancy with the pay, like far as, like you said, you taking shorts?
I
Was it discussed that
I
you
was taking
needed
shorts
more?
from the beginning, and I didn't have an issue with it because I had a job and I'm secure. You understand? So I'm working, I'm secure in what I got going on, so I can take a short on the Math Hoffa podcast to make it bigger and better because he can fund the money and make the podcast better.
I got you. And how did you build a relationship with Izzo? And
I knew Hynaken from Flip Show. He came on Flip Show. We did a show. Me, him, King Face, rest in peace, and Lethal Lips. We did a show on Queen's Flip platform a while back, and then Math invited Hynaken to the show, and he brought Esso. That's the only way I know them.
so, like, you know, moving forward. So, like, you think that this situation can go like how the Queen's Flip situation went? Like, y'all can be back cool?
Math is not I don't want to say his name. Tough guy is not a cool type of person. He's emotional, he's sensitive, and he don't know how to do business. If somebody is owed payment, why am I speaking to you? You know my account information. Send in payment. It doesn't make sense why I'm sitting here waiting for you. You know the payment. The invoice was sent. You pay the invoice. Plain and simple. If you don't want to do that, then fine. And then you want to make a contract that's not even valid. You're not signing on the contract. Your name's not signed on the contract. And it's not valid. You breach contract by not paying. And then you want to go and try to make a deal without have a lawyer involved so we can all negotiate the deal together because it's a product that was created amongst us.
And, like, with the whole sponsorship situation, like, did you hear about that? Like, he said that you guys went and created a podcast and used his brand for a sponsorship to get a sponsorship on y'all show.
We don't have to get a sponsorship on what show? Pool and Space was direct sponsored. Shampoo hit up the sponsor and we called him. Shampoo is the King of All Blacks. He's on the Howard Stern show. He doesn't even watch battle rap. He doesn't know anything about Tough Guy.
I got you. And then the big question is did Math did he fire you or did you leave?
I left. He wants me back, and this extortion is bull. I'm out of town right now. I can't even give him his equipment that he wants, his little camera and tripod. That's what he wants. But I can't give it to him. I'm out of town right now. But he can have that. But what he wants is the footage because the deal is placed on licensing of the footage. But you cannot license the footage without approval of the person who made it.
And what about, like, these bonuses he spoke on? Like, if you brought in a guest, or I guess if the episode did well, they'd give out bonuses. Was there any
How is
truth
there
to that?
bonuses when you're not paying the invoices?
Oh yeah, what up, Space? I wanted to ask you this. First I want to ask you, Mav said that you started ignoring his calls and texts and things like that. Is that true?
When you owe somebody money, I don't need to talk to you. Just pay the invoice, bro. The deal was on the deal was on the table. I did an investigation, and I talked to Esso, I talked to Hynaken, I talked to Mecca, and I talked to Sean Bigger, and I found out who was owed money, who didn't get paid one time, and I find out all these things, and I don't like doing business with people like that. So you need to give me money for this footage if you want to license it, and that's it.
Copy. So that's basically when everything. Basically, you did your investigation and you found out that some deals was possibly being done, and you found out
I
certain
knew
other
I
people
knew the
wasn't getting
deals
paid.
were being done because he told me. Deal, you trying to X me out the deal. You wanna it's like you have something, you want to take it for yourself and then break bread. That's not how it works. If I made this with you, we got to break bread together at the same. I got to sit at the table.
Right. Basically, you felt like he was trying to shortchange you, get you out the way, then go make the deal and get the big bag right quick.
That's what he's trying to do with everything. That's why he's mad at Esso and Hynaken. That's why everything, because if they go out and do their own show and they try to get a deal, he want to be a part of it. He want to be. It's like a crying baby who can't do on his own.
Right. I'm glad you gave some clarity to that situation, because when he was explaining it, he kind of made it seem like as if like you just you started ignoring him
No, I
one
did.
day, like,
I
it wasn't
ignore
something that
him. I
happened.
did ignore him.
Right,
But
but you saying
he
something
asked
had
me
happened and
to
you
come on the D Rose show, and I wasn't available. I said I'm not available. So
right.
I did answer him, but everything else he was talking about, I was ignoring him on.
Yeah, because it was a big thing. Math was saying that they didn't bring any guests, but Rockwell, Clue, and he was
And
already in
Tony Yayo.
communication with Tony Yayo. He said that he was already in communication with Tony Yayo. So you said that they did bring Tony
The only
Yayo.
reason Tony Yayo did the show is because of Hynaken, and he wanted to talk to him. Hynaken and Esso worked with This Is 50 for years. They know Yayo for over 20, 30 years already.
And then you heard about, like, I don't know if you heard the interview, but he was basically saying also that he had an envelope with 6,000 in it or
And he
something to pay
lost his
you, but
wallet.
he.
And he also, the week
Mhm.
before that, something happened with his bank account.
Yeah, your mic went out.
Yeah, I said it's just broke tactics. Like somebody owe you money. Oh man, my bank account. Oh man, I lost 6,000 in a wallet. It's like I owe you money, and you just keep every week. It's just like, yo, bro, I'll pay you next week. I'll pay you next week. Invoices will be sent. Half would be paid. Some wouldn't be paid. It's like it's a thing, a tactic that he uses to try to string you along. He'll pay you half, so this way you're still there because you need your other half. You know what I'm saying? It's not
I
like the invoices wasn't getting paid. It's like half was getting paid, then you keep going, then you pay it full, then we have more, then you gotta pay again, then he doesn't pay, then half gets paid. It's like a reoccurring cycle.
okay. The
That's
money
the
is not
extortion. Me having a conversation, telling you to give me 100,000 and you can have, and I'll walk away. That's
okay.
that's the extortion, quote unquote.
So for you, you're saying your main issue was you were happy there, you got along, but it was the money situation that made you unhappy and want to leave. Is that what you're saying? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Everybody was happy with the situation. I don't know happy as far as financially, but everybody loved what we were doing. So we would wait, and you know what I'm saying, we'll take them because we love what we're doing. And Math is gonna get it right. We're like, all right, cool, he gonna get it right, it's cool. But after a while, it's like, yo, bro, what are you doing, fam? And everybody, there's a moment where everybody is like, yo, let's all come together. And he goes, no, he's extorting me. What are you talking about, fam?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like the way that you explaining it now, it don't sound like extortion. I mean, he didn't really give complete context to it. When he explained it, he said, that you had his equipment, and that's what you was asking for 100,000 for. But now what you
No,
explaining
I don't
about the
want his equipment.
content,
I don't want.
he want the
It's a
content. What you
360
saying?
camera and a tripod and a microphone. I don't want that equipment. I don't want it.
Right.
I don't need it.
He trying to get the content
He
from you
wants
for
the
free,
content to
basically.
be licensed, but he cannot license the content that I worked on without me being in the negotiation, which is part of his contract that is not voided because he didn't sign it. I was not compensated for some episodes, and I'm not compensated, and I'm not compensated for the deal that if you signing one.
Hey, let me ask you this, Space. I seen Math and Queen's Flip was speaking, and Queen's Flip said he told Math when I guess you and Math had the conversation about the 100,000. He told Math that he should at least pay you at least half of that. You know what I'm saying? But Math wasn't really open to that. Would you be
Math
open
don't want
to?
to pay nobody nothing. He's a greedy.
Would you be open to negotiation of any
Yo,
number, or
that's
you gotta
that's
have
my
that
number.
100?
It's not even a big deal. It's not
Okay.
even a big number. He makes way more than that a month. It's not even
Right.
a big number. It's not even a thing. It's like a drop in a bucket. He's
Right.
acting like a little.
Yeah, because they saying that I guess y'all still booking events using like the Math Hoffa, FX, my expert opinion.
We don't need him. I got a brand that's pushing. Esso and Hynaken got a brand that's pushing. We don't need his name for nothing. We said what we said. We made that podcast together to make sure to clear the air to let everybody know why we're not on the show, why the show audio was up, and all this other stuff.
Yo, Space Ghost, is there anything you want to leave us with, like far as that we didn't cover about the situation?
Nah, I just, the show could go on, and I wish it the best. I wish Math the best, and I hope everything works out with Queen's Flip, and I hope his career soars too. I have no animosity towards those guys, The business is just a business, and if you can't pay and you can't do what you got to do to meet the demands that are set forth for you, then you need to figure it out, and you need to do some soul searching and some cleanup and some financial arrangements to figure out how you can get yourself in a good situation.
Really sad that the guys broke up. Sucks, but it's business. It happens. But the bigger picture is the fact that a lot of times when people start podcasts, they don't know if it's going to blow up. They don't know they're going to make a ton of money and all this success is going to come in. So a lot of times people take shorts, people sacrifice, hey, I'm not getting paid that much, but it's okay as long as we're all moving toward the same goal of a successful podcast. Here's where the problem comes in. Once the podcast blows up, then you got to go back to the table. So once you go back to the table, everybody gets a rude awakening that the leader of the podcast might not think you're valuable anymore or think you're disposable. And then your asking price might be too high. What the leader of the podcast is offering you might be too low. And then he might keep it real with you and say, look, I can get somebody else to edit the video. I can get somebody else to do the audio for cheaper. I can get somebody, you're not that important. So, and then as far as Hynaken and Esso, you can say, oh, well, you guys weren't that great of podcast personalities. And that's not my opinion. I'm just saying sometimes people don't see the value that you see in yourself. People don't see your worth. So they could be totally wrong, but it's at the end of the day, that's the conversations that happen when you come to the table after the podcast is successful. So like, I feel like that's what really broke them up, and it wasn't really just money. It was respect. I feel like the respect went away, and they didn't really, when you start voicing your opinion on what somebody's worth or how valuable somebody is to the podcast, that person might take that as disrespect. So like if Sp8Ghost is editing all the video, he's doing all this work, and then you're like, I can get somebody else to do that. You're not really that important. Space might take that personal as disrespect. If Math is looking at Hynaken and Esso like, you guys ain't that really, your on air personality is not that great. I can get somebody else to sit in those chairs. They might take that as disrespect, so I think don't get me wrong, it's a little bit of money involved, of course, a lot about money, but I think people overlook the fact that it's about respect too. But yeah, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.